Occurred, July 25, 2009. 2200 Location, Indianapolis, Indiana. Shape, disk duration, 3 to 4 minutes. Characteristics. There were lights on the object at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on July 25, 09. 20 to 30 yellowish disks were observed traveling across the northern sky near Indianapolis. At approximately 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on July 25, 09, I was in the driveway of my home in Lawrence, Indiana, a small town in the northeast section of Marion County, about 10 miles northeast of downtown Indianapolis. A female neighbor across the street yelled at me, pointing at the northern sky, and stated, "What is that?" I immediately looked up and saw 20 to 30 bright yellowish disc-shaped objects, each with an illuminated vertical red center, flying across the sky with no detectable sound. They were moving west to east about 40 degrees off the horizon at what appeared to be a high rate of speed. They were in a straight formation, although about 30 seconds into this encounter 2 or 3 seemed to break off from the formation and head south towards me for a few seconds, then quickly joined the others in their easterly trek. While I was watching this, the female neighbor's husband also came out of his house and joined his wife and I, who were watching this spectacle from the street. After another minute or so, the objects all disappeared into the eastern sky. I am a 56-year-old college-educated male, who spent over 20 years in law enforcement in several different positions. I am currently an in-town truck driver, and I do not use illicit drugs or consume alcohol. I can offer no logical explanation as to what these objects were that my neighbors and I saw. I hope to find out something about this when I watch the evening news at 11 p.m. tonight. Finally, if someone would have told me I would be making a report to a UFO center, I would have laughed at them. I occasionally listen to Coast on the radio and always regarded UFO reports as just some type of goofy entertainment. Now I'm not so sure. At 10.
Occurred, October 31, 2009. 1900 Location, Indianapolis, Indiana. Shape, fireball duration, 1 minute. Characteristics. There were lights on the object, orange, flaming, light rising, then abruptly changing directions and slowly disappearing in the horizon. I was sitting outside my front door when an orange light, flickering as if it were a ball of fire, seemingly rose out of the north. My initial reaction, since it's Halloween night, was that it was a Roman candle. It stopped rising, then appeared stationary. It slowly moved south, then turned abruptly to the east and went at a slow but steady pace, and also started to rise. It continued in the same direction and same rate of rising until it eventually disappeared in the horizon. It had just gotten dark, but the moon was shining brightly. There were very few clouds. The next door neighbor was sitting on her porch and I asked her if she could see it. She looked up and said, "Yes." We didn't discuss it further. Right after it rose and stopped, I opened the door and asked my wife to come and see it. She watched for the duration. Oddly enough, we had seen, and reported, the exact same thing in the summer of 2008, which as it turned out, had been seen and reported by people throughout Indiana and Michigan.
Occurred, the 9th of April 2010. 21:30 Location, Indianapolis, Indiana. Shape, triangle duration, 1 minute. Driving past. Characteristics. There were lights on the object, black triangular aircraft with 2 white lights and 1 red going across Indianapolis sky. Right after working at a concert, my brother-in-law and sister were driving home with me in the back of the car. We were driving past Firehouse number 20 and a Kroger. And I seen a thing in the sky that I was just watching. And when it went above us and past the clouds, it looked like a black triangle with 3 lights, like nothing I have ever seen. 2 of the lights were white and 1 was red, and it looked to be moving pretty quickly. Then we drove past it, and it was back in the clouds again, going to the left, with Firehouse 20 and Kroger to the right.
Occurred, the 1st of June 2010. 2000 Location, Indianapolis, Indiana. Shape, Rectangle duration. 1 minute. Huge, translucent vertical rectangle spotted floating in sky before sunset around 2000 in central Indiana. I was driving east on US 40 around 8 p.m. on the 1st of May 10. My attention was drawn to the sky in the southeast by a flash resembling a flare or a dud fireworks. I became aware of a translucent object, a long, vertical rectangle with well-defined corners that floated north from the location of the flash. We are on daylight savings time in Indiana and still have plenty of sunlight at that hour. At first I double-checked to make sure the object was not a banner being flown from an airplane, but the object had to be at least a mile from top to bottom. I slowed the car and got into the right turn lane and inched along. The object, like a gigantic plastic film in the sky, kept moving north and was gradually assimilated or hidden by a darker cloud. I don't think this was a reflection of something on my windshield, because of the way the object moved, then remained stationary for a moment, even though my auto continued to move. I had to turn into a parking lot at T point and did not see the object after that. Addendum from source of report. To the staff. I filed a serious, legitimate report but mislabeled the date of the incident as the 1st of May 10 instead of the 1st of June 10. This was a typographical error made in the way people use the previous month or year right after the date has changed. Because it's the beginning of June, I've been putting 05 as the month on paperwork. My deepest apologies. However, I want to stress that the report as filed is serious for a sighting on the 1st of June 10.
Occurred, the 7th of April 2010, 2200 location, Indianapolis, Indiana. Shape, fireball duration, 15 minutes. Characteristics, there was an aura or haze around the object. More than 7 red flaring orbs in East Indianapolis sky on 4th of July approximately 2200 hours. A group of us on the deck were watching fireworks. We noticed 3 red fireballs crossing the sky evenly paced. They got to a certain point in the sky and then vanished. At first we believed it to be cloud cover being the reason they vanished, but they never reappeared considering their brightness. 10 minutes after first sighting, we saw the same shape again coming from the south but a little farther east. This time one appeared, then followed by another, then followed by another. Each one was evenly paced. After going a distance the first object disappeared, then another came into view. Each object got to the same point and then disappeared, and again another appeared. This time there was 5 to 6 objects. I work for the military and checked with the local helicopter BDE. It was confirmed that there were no flights that day.
Occurred, September 19, 2010, 2040 location, Indianapolis, Indiana. Shape, unknown duration, 1 second. Characteristics, there were lights on the object left streak during a video on Sunday Night Football. On tonight's NFL Sunday night game at approximately 8:40 p.m. Eastern, there was a streak of light during a live shot of downtown Indianapolis. There was an ad box in the middle of the screen. They had just switched from Southwest Airlines to Hyundai. The streak started on the top dead center of the screen and moved towards the right in a curve towards a building with 2 blue light stripes on it. It disappeared momentarily and reappeared for an instant, moving horizontally. I did happen to DVR the event and reviewed it. It's just a light with no discernible features but didn't look natural. I'm sure you could get the video image from NBC. NUFORC note, witness elects to remain totally anonymous, provides little contact information.
Occurred, the 11th of February 2010, 1420 location, Indianapolis, Indiana. Shape, cylinder duration, 60 sec silver cylinder object in sky 3 feet LX2 Fort H white circle moved to cover whole object then disappeared. I would like to report a UFO that I saw November 2, 2010. It was in Indianapolis, Indiana. I was at the corner of Southeastern Avenue and Arlington Avenue. It was in the SW sky. It looked to be about 3 feet long and about 2 feet high. It was silver in color and it only stayed for less than a minute. The silver was the shade of a trash can. As I was watching this object, it looked like a white circle rose from the bottom left and moved to the top right. Once it finished, it disappeared. There were no blimps in the vicinity. It just hung in the air and then the circle of white moved to encompass the object. It appeared to be only one. The sky was clear with some white clouds higher up than the object. The address was deleted. Southeastern Avenue.